Here's my audience of 4 people. I'm gonna hand the phone to my younger brother so he can film me. And here we go. Alright, so that was a song by a rap artist called Chris Han. It's about Las Vegas, also known as Sin City. And he's basically saying Sin City wasn't made for you. And, people ask, why is that? Why is Las Vegas called Sin City? And I'll be going about talking why that is in this speech. And I'll also talk about my experience because I took a summer trip to Las Vegas a year ago. So I'll be talking about that. So, first things first. Why do people call Las Vegas Sin City? People call Las Vegas Sin City due to mainly the, drugs, gambling, alcohol, and other wild forms of entertainment they have in the city. I mean, it's a place where you can find, new bars that, is open, and, you can find stuff like that. So, that attributes a lot of that to that. And, coming back to the concept of sin in the city, William McLean, in his book, A Christian Concept of Sin, he said, a sin is the moral fall of a moral being from a higher state to a lower state. And it makes you think, a moral being, everyone has morals, and the morally bad things that are involved with Las Vegas are kind of normalized throughout the things, and that's why it's called Sin City. And also, Las Vegas had a big rise. Early on in the 20th century, it had a big rise from, being in the middle of a desert, middle of nowhere, and it just shot up, and, it became this big booming city with, casinos and, gambling and all this other stuff, mainly because the Highway 91 was a highway to California, and people was normally traveling from Salt Lake City to California or vice versa, and Las Vegas was just in between there. And early on, Las Vegas was really just a pit stop, and now it's one of the most postmodern cities in the entire world. And now is when I'll go into my experience about Las Vegas. What did I learn? I really just learned that you can be secure in the fact that you're gonna be safe relatively most of the time. You're not really special, and what I mean by that is that the richest people in the world, they'll come to Las Vegas, gamble their money and throw their lives away in a sense. And if you're just an average person touring, I mean, you're gonna be with the mass of people. So you can be safe in that. Be aware of your surroundings, just don't be scared of it. And also, going back to the concept of Las Vegas being something out of nothing, Robert McCracken, he was the guy who made the claims about Highway 91 being the main driving factor that brought Las Vegas out of this, pit stop into, the big metropolitan place it is known for today. But back to my experiences, I really just found that, I was often a little complacent about it, just understanding that, I'm a tourist, I'm having fun, all these bright city lights, and, there's a lot of problems, beneath those city lights. You have problems homeless people. When I was traveling, the streets and whatever, I would see homeless people just everywhere. They'd be sitting outside Walgreens, and, it just snapped in my brain, people throw their lives away in this city. Maybe that's why it's called Sin City. They throw their lives away with gambling, alcohol, and, they come in with so much, and then they're broken down into who they are, what you see. And, I even remember giving a water bottle to a homeless guy, or a guy that looked homeless. And, it's a big problem. You'll see people walking around, people sleeping in tents, people just, ruin their lives in a sense. And, gambling's a huge problem as well. It's one of those things where it's everywhere. First thing off the plane, what do you see? A slot machine. It's everywhere. So it's so easy to fall into these things because it's so tempting. And if you have money, it's easy to fall into these things. And that's why, you shouldn't feel too scared about it if you're just going to visit. But, majority of the time, you're going to be good. But I'd also say that, to wrap everything up, Las Vegas, you know, it has a lot of problems. You know, if you go in with an open mind and just, you know, understanding of, you know, the situation and where you're at, you can have a lot of fun. But just don't be complacent. Be respectful of those people who maybe, you know, don't have as much, or maybe had a lot and they threw it away through, you know, the various sins that made Sin City, Sin City. But yeah, those are just some of my experiences and thoughts on Las Vegas to inform you about maybe some things you should think about, you know, before, you know, entering into Las Vegas and having a trip and time of your life. Thank you. All right, these are my note cards. I just had 3 of them. These are my sources: William W. McCain and Robert D. McCracken, and this extra one talking about you should be aware of your surroundings. And yeah, those are my note cards.